Hello, take two. It's Melinda from Scrapbooking and Craft. How you all going? Sorry about that. I accidentally closed my webcam. Let's see if it's actually working on my phone. There's a bit of a delay, so hopefully I've got volume. Because it says, hello, take two. It's Melinda from. Yes, it's working on my phone. That's half the battle. Now, quickly share it to a group that I was going to share it to before, and then we'll get started. Okay, so welcome anyone that's joining me today for the second time. I can't believe I did that. That was incredibly interesting. What can I say? Hello, Angela. How you going? Yeah, it was totally my fault. I have a new mouse and it's very sensitive, and it went over my webcam browser and it closed it, and that's what runs the camera to runs on Facebook. I do it in a weird way. I can't do it on my phone because I can't see that far. Okay, let's just put my phone away. Actually, I wanted to view it on my phone. Let me get it back up on my phone again. That one, because I want to make sure I stay in frame. So put my phone up here out of the way. And why we're at an angle now? Because that's a bit better. We're a bit straighter. Very much straight. Okay. Hi Sharon, how you going? So pop in and say hello. I know it's been a while since I've done a live. Hi Nikki, how you going? Let me see if I can get that computer a bit closer so I don't have to struggle to see those little words. Facebook do not make it easy for me to go live, because trying to see small writing from far distance is not fun. It's been a while since I've done a live. Let's see if I can remember how to do it. Every time I come on, Facebook changes it, which is lots of fun usually. But I thought, I can't believe it's March already. Tell me where the first 2 months of this year went. They just zipped by. It's been very busy around here, and last year was a bit of a disaster. Just thing after thing after thing keeps happening, and then this year is just, the first 2 months have been about the same. But we're going to get into this in a minute, just making sure everything is good to go. Getting comments so you can hear me, which is great. I'm not going to touch anything else on my computer in case I hit the wrong button again. Let's move my mouse out of the way, and let's not hover it on anything I can accidentally touch it. Okay, and hopefully it's looking a bit dark on my phone, but I'm having issues with lighting as well, which, surprise surprise, technology hates me. But it's looking alright on my computer screen, so let's just go with it, shall we? So I'm hoping to do a bit more regular lives on the channel this year on the Facebook page. Just life keeps getting in the way. I was determined to do one Friday night before February finished, but that didn't get there either, so we're into March. As I said, where'd the year go? It's been a bit of a roller coaster the first 2 months of the year. I'm hoping life will settle down and just leave me alone for a while so I can get some work done. So what are we going to play with today? I have a bit of an idea in my head. It may turn out, it may not. Sometimes when I have a bit of an idea in my head and it doesn't quite go that way, I get a bit frustrated. And sometimes if I just grab a few products and then just the page goes where it goes. So I have grabbed a few products. So I've grabbed one day at a time. So I thought we'll use that in some form or the other. I've grabbed one of these napkins. So my daughter Alexis sells paper napkins on my website. So I grabbed this one. We're going to have a bit of a black and white theme today because I couldn't be bothered finding all my coloured paints. Isn't that terrible? So we're going to do a black and white theme page today just because. Just because. Hi Linda, how you going? So I've got a paper napkin. So what I'm going to do is, I'm not sure I'm going to use all these products, but the products I definitely use, I will then link after I finish the live, I will put a picture up of the finished picture, and below the picture in the comments, I will link all the products from the website so you can easily find them. So if we don't use some of these products, then they won't get linked. If I pull other products that are in arm's reach, we'll use those. Clear as mud, right? I've been wanting to use this stencil for a while. This is really weird because I'm looking at a recording that's delayed. So I pick up this stencil, I'm still looking at the napkin. That's going to just mess with my head. So this stencil is something I designed last year. I think it came out in February last year. Oh, did it? Wow, God. Last year just zipped by. Haven't played with it yet, so I thought let's fish that out and play. I've got a bit of an idea. You get the stencil part, and then you also get the masky parts. So if the bits when I cut a stencil are large enough, I pull them out and throw them in your packs. If they're really small, no, you don't get them because they're too blooming small to pick out. So then I wanted some other type of stencil, so I grabbed this one. Haven't played with this one either, hence why they're in new packaging. Hi Desiree, how you going? Usually I don't package up the products I'm going to play with, but I pulled these out of stock, so that's why they're all packaged up. And then we're going to play with something really, really cool. So Alexis, if you don't know, is my now 17-year-old daughter. How did that happen? How have I got a Nelly? She'll be 18 at the end of this year. I don't have an 18-year-old. It makes me feel really, really old. So Alexis is really into photography, and these come out last year as well. She's actually got a new pack out. We've got a new release coming up soon. Getting off track. So we've got a new release, hopefully coming up by the end of March, maybe into April. Let's see what life allows me to do. But this pack came out last year, and this pack come around from Alexis goes to a photography club every month. And they gave everyone the same picture. It was a picture of houses someone had taken over in Europe, and we had to come home and edit it. So Alexis decided to go into her editing software and press every button to edit it, and made these really cool papers that look nothing like the original photo. So we started with the coloured ones. Let's start with the coloured ones. Let's start with the A4 ones. So there's 4 packs. So these printed papers are printed on A4 copy paper, and they're commercially printed at like an Officeworks type place, so they're not printed on my home printer. So they've got nice rich colours, they're laser printed, so they're permanent, great for art journaling. They're on A4 paper, so they're nice and thin to go in your art journal. So Alexis has done 4 packs in this range. We've got A4 and we've got A5. So basically the same images, smaller and bigger. So I'm going to open this one up. You can also buy these packs. Can't talk now. Russell, get rid of that. You can also buy these packs digitally. Words. It's going to be a fun live. So you can buy the packs as a physical paper pack, and we send it out to you in the post, or you can buy them as a digital file that you can print at home. So they're both on the website. So this is the A4 version. She did this beautiful cover sheet as well. She's so clever. So I'll flip through the coloured version because they're a bit more pretty to look at. We're going to use the black and white version, but the black and white version is exactly the same. It's just black and white. So you get 14 sheets of paper, and these ones are all like psychedelic and really, really cool. I have used some of these in classes last year. So all sorts of different designs, all that sort of combined together because they all started with the same photo with the same sort of colours in it. So they look really cool. So that's the A4 version. So obviously the designs are nice and big. Itchy eye, itchy nose, always when you get on camera. Then I'll show you the black and white A4-5 version. So I said to Alexis, what about card makers and people that want smaller designs? Should have taken these out of the bag before I got on live. So if we compare, get that bit of paper out there. So this is A4, so it's a large image. What she's taken is she's taken the image, shrunk it down and put 2 per page. So you still get 14 papers, but you actually get 2 of each design in the pack on the A4 version. So you get 2 on the same sheet. So this paper is this paper this way. So I love the colour, and I said to Alexis, turn some to black and white and show me. And then I liked how it had a lot of tone. It had whites, it had darks, it had middle greys, and it had it looked really, really cool. So we're going to use some of the black and white papers today. So this is the A5 version of the papers. And my daughter has a new pack out that I'm hoping to get the website soon. A5. So A lot of smaller designs. So I've used these in art journaling as well. It's just the design that's smaller. But great in smaller journals or great in card making as pattern papers. So basically they're just collage papers that you can use in your journals. And I'm going quite quick. Lots of funky different ones. Some with circles. Some with all sorts of designs. You can use the front page as well. So let's get these out of here. So we have colour in both A4 and A5. And then we have black and white in both A4 and A5. So I'm going to put these back in their packages and put them back into stock in a minute. What I have is I have my stash in a little plastic tub, and I've got all my scraps, and we're going to pull bits out of there in a minute to play with. So what I'm doing is I'm working in a Delusions style book. It's not a Delusions album. It's one that looks like it, but it's the same size. So the large Delusions journal. So basically 2 A4 sheets of paper side by side. That's the size I'm working in. I like working big. I'm hopefully going to do some smaller work this year and teach myself to work small, but I do enjoy big. So I've just pre-gessoed my page. This one does have, I'll find a page I haven't used. Can't show you some of this stuff. It's for classes. Oh, that's white as well. This has the cream pages. Oh, I can show you that. So it does have the cream pages, but I've just gessoed it so you didn't have to watch paint dry. Watch paint dry. Okay. Enough yabbering from me. Let's get into it. We have a few watching. So let's start with some collage paper or the napkin. Let's start with some collage paper. I'm just moving stuff and I'm sure I'm going to cause an avalanche. So I keep my collage papers in these little boxes from Kmart. I think they're $4 or $5. They're A4 size. Clips are getting a bit dodgy because I keep throwing them into suitcases when I travel and do things. So I've got all my little bits in here. What are we going to use? I just want to throw something in the background. This one's a bit, I don't know, maybe that works with the curves. Okay, we'll go with that one. So I'm just going to pull out some, so it's the swirly one. Let's grab some of this one maybe. Let's grab 3 out. Really, I need a bigger desk. That would be nice. I don't really want the swirly whirly ones. I'm going to do something cool with those one day, but not today. Well, I think I'm going to do something cool with them. So what have we got? We don't have that one we might use. Let's go see what else we've got. So this is the bigger version of the smaller version I showed you before. Maybe some of that one. Oh, I don't really want circles. I don't know what I want. And then this is great because I can keep all my small bits in here, and we've got test prints in here and stuff. I like these boxes because you can sort of keep all your scraps together, which is really cool. So is anyone crafting along or doing any sort of craft, or are you just going to sit there and watch me? Which is fine if you do either. Alexis might come out and make an appearance soon. I did tell her I was going live. But she might hide in her bedroom, like being a teenager. Okay, so ideally the thought is to maybe... So the face, I'm thinking, will go sort of here, and it's going to come across here a bit. And I want to take some of these shapes and sort of extend them somehow when I stencil. So I'm sort of wanting to put pattern paper sort of mainly on this side, on the left side, sort of in the top and the bottom. Sort of not putting it right here, if that makes sense. Clear as mud, right? Hi Bronwyn, how you going? Welcome to anyone that is new, that is tuning in. I thought I'd jump on and do a live. I made a bit of a New Year's resolution, go, right, I'm going to do 2 lives a month on my Facebook page. January came and went, and that was just a disaster. February came and went, and that was not much better. I'd love to set a time every week, but my life and schedule just will not do that. What am I doing? Let's just tear it. Let's just go for it. So I'm just going to tear some chunky bits. Why tearing? Because I don't have to get my scissors out. I might actually make that go right up to the top there because it's got the straight edge. Yeah, life's just a bit crazy at the moment. I just... bit time poor for me, but it's fun and games. Oh, Sharon, you're driving home from a holiday. Oh, I so need a holiday. Well, your husband is driving. Oh, that's good. It's good when someone else can drive. I would love a holiday. I just need a really, really, really cheap one, or a free one would be even better. This year is proving to be, let's replace everything in the house that keeps breaking and breaking down and having to be replaced. That's all I did in January, and all I did in February was replace stuff. Just cutting the white edge off here. I should have cut this off before I come on, so I can get some of this paper. I want this side. So if you do print these at home, hang on, I'll finish cutting because that might be mucking up the microphone. If you print them at home, you can probably work out how to print them without the white borders. I'm not that clever. As I said, we send these away to get commercially printed, so they always print the white border on them. It's just the way the files are set up. Ooh. And I'll just cut this white bit off. The reason I like to cut the white bits off, because then if I'm tracing a shape onto them or doing something on the back of the piece of paper, I don't accidentally get my white bits of paper showing. Yeah, I so need a holiday, I've decided, but my credit card said no, that's not going to happen this year. Isn't that rude? Okay, so just... why I'm doing strips, I have no idea, but strips just sounded like fun. I don't know what I'm doing, actually. So the face is sort of going to go here. Here we do something like, I don't know, make a decision, Melinda, stop procrastinating. Basically, I just want to put something down in the background. Let's layer it up a bit. Let's be a bit fancy. Let's do... oh, not have this one so blocky. Let's do something like that. I don't know. Also grab some black and white washi tape I might add in. I found that on my desk, so we might be adding some of that. This is a bit blocky, so let's see if we can tear that off so it's not... probably going to cover up most of this when I stick it down, so I don't know why I'm being so fussy, but I just want something in the background to start the page off. Keep those bits, I might stick those bits on in a minute. This needs to have something torn off it so it's not so blocky as well. So I might go something like that, maybe. Then there's little bits I might add as well. I want to bring a bit more down this side because this side's going to be fairly blank-ish. So what have we got? We will go with this one that I've got on the top. I like tearing the paper. It means you don't have to get your scissors out, and it's just fun to tear and put a piece there. Let's do that. Maybe. Well, that didn't rip properly. Okay. So I've got a bit of an idea in my head, but sometimes let's just go for it. Okay, so I'm going to glue these down with, I've got some Liquitex gel medium. Or if you don't have that, you can also use Liquitex matte medium. The only difference is, and there's plenty of other brands, I'm just using up the Liquitex that I've got hanging around. This one's thinner. The matte medium is a thinner consistency. The gel is a bit more of a gel. Yeah, that makes perfect sense, doesn't it? Because I'm going to be putting ink and stuff over the top of them and paint, so I want the papers, I don't want to just glue them on with a craft glue. I want to be able to put adhesive underneath and then adhesive over the top. So this piece is going down first, so I put a layer of matte medium under the piece of paper, and then likes to slide around, which is always fun. Then I'm going to put a layer over the top. The reason we put a layer over the top is A, it helps to seal the paper to the page, and B, it puts a barrier on it, so if you have an oopsie later on, you have the advantage of being able to wipe the whoopsie off if you spill paint or ink or put something on it that you then decide you don't like. And just make sure it's a matte gel or a matte medium so it dries matte, so it doesn't have a gloss to it, because there are gloss products as well. Just making sure there's no big blobs. And because it dries clear, if you get it beyond where your paper is, it's not going to matter anyway. I'm going to throw lots of paint on here too. So glad it's a bit cooler today because I've had to turn my fan off behind me. Otherwise it makes a bit too much noise. So I like to overlap them on my page and then I will trim them off later once it's dry, instead of trying to cut it exactly the size of the page. Oh, if you just heard a bang, it was just Alexis raiding my refrigerator. Must be snack time. So this is putting like a milky film over the top, but it will dry clear, so don't worry about that. Let's get rid of some of these little bits that I've got hanging around. Oops. Let's put a little bit here. For no other reason than I've got little bits hanging around, so let's stick them down. So we've got lots of plans for the business this year. We are just got so much going on. So I have my second retreat for the year coming up in May. I should know the dates off the top of my head, shouldn't I? But if you look on the Facebook page, you will know. And the bookings for that will be going up Monday or Tuesday. We've already got about 3/4 of our seats pre-booked. So if you are thinking of coming to our retreat, I would book very quickly because you wouldn't want to miss out. And then we've got another retreat in December. So I'm having so much fun running the retreats. They are fantastic. They're in Echuca, Moama for anyone that hasn't attended before. So they are 4 days of fun. You arrive Thursday or Friday. Then you do classes Friday and Saturday. And then Sunday is a bit of a lazy day, pack up day. And we're back on the road home by 4 p.m. It goes super quick while we're there. It's sort of, you get there Thursday, you sort of set up and get going. And then Friday and Saturday go in a blur. Well, they do for me because I teach 2 classes each of those days. But they are loads of fun. And then all of a sudden you walk in Sunday and it's like, oh, geez, it's the last day. But the retreats, if you can get to a retreat, they are loads of fun. And the girls that I have come into my retreats at the moment are just a fantastic bunch of ladies. Okay. Now, how did I have this set up? I had this here and I had... So all the dates are on Facebook for my retreats. And when I confirm my next one in 2026, I'm trying to confirm that date at the moment, that will be up on Facebook as well, so you can do some pre-planning and work out leave from school and leave from school and leave from work and all that sort of fun stuff, and leave from your family. But no, the retreats are loads of fun. And if you're in the Bendigo area, or you want a lovely day trip from Melbourne, I'm actually doing... Usually I don't do craft shows anymore. I used to do a lot of craft shows prior to when the world just went wobbly a few years ago. Not going to mention what it was because Facebook might flag the live, but you all know. It happened in 2020. Used to do a lot of craft shows before that, but yeah, my life circumstances changed and just, yeah. But I am doing a craft show off the squirrel track. I am doing, and that needed to go under there. And what am I doing? Melinda, do not talk and try to paste paper at the same time. Okay, let's just rip that up. So I am doing a 2-day craft show in Bendigo from picture to page at the end of March. The dates are up on the Facebook page as well in a post. A couple of posts down from this one. So that will be lots of fun. I will be teaching some classes at that event. What classes I'll be teaching, I have not designed yet. That is this week's problem, upcoming week's problem, or task. But they will be on the picture to page Facebook page, picture page website and my Facebook page when I get around to designing what they are. I'm just trying to get some other stuff done first. But I thought, why not take a break and do a live today. Okay, now I've got to just watch. When this paper does get wet with your matte medium, it does get quite fragile because it's only thin photocopy paper. There's no reason why at home you could not print onto... I'm not liking that gap, so I need a little bit of something to put there. There's no reason why you can't print on heavier cardstock, or you can't print on basically anything. It's just in my art journal excuse me, I like things to be thin, so when I'm multi-layer them, they're not too thick. Hi Helen, how you going? Hi Jane. No, that's right that you're late, Jane. I had to start my live twice because I accidentally closed my camera window, my webcam window on my computer. I've just got a fantastic new mouse because my mouse broke last Tuesday. Seriously, the theme of the year is what more stuff can I replace in my household for 2025. It's going to be the year of just replacing everything. And I've got this super sensitive mouse now, and sometimes when you hover over a window, it accidentally closes things, but we will get there. So it's had a very expensive start to the year, unfortunately, but we will get there. Who needs money, right? That's not really going to fix what that is. It's maybe I need to go over here. It's just looking a bit blocky. I don't know. My gel medium is nearly finished. Trying to finish up a lot of bits and pieces around the house, like my gel mediums and half-open containers of stuff. So I have to swap, and I still don't like how that looks. That's right, I'll throw some stenciling over it in a minute. Let's just add a little bit more. And then we'll decide if we want to do the paper napkin or not. Oh, this jar's nearly finished. I don't know. Oh, there we go. It looks a little bit there. I don't know. Being a bit fussy. There's a tiny bit sitting on my desk. Why not stick it on my book? I'll stick it down here. At least it's a bit cooler today. It's been very hot here in Bendigo. But we have been in summer too, which shouldn't be surprising. Okay, now, what are we doing now? Am I going to add some napkin? Or am I just going to give that a quick dry if I can? Okay, I'm going to put, where are my baby wipes? I had the baby wipes in front of me. I'm just going to wrap my matte medium paintbrush because I may use it again instead of wetting it in a baby wipe for now, and find where I've thrown my heat tool. So yes, we've got lots of plans for the business this year. We're just hoping we can get all of them done and organised in time for things. I won't give too much secrets away. Doesn't have to be too dry. I think I'm going to put some napkin on it so it doesn't have to be 100% dry, just not really wet. So I think I am going to use that napkin because I want to put it sort of down here to break this heaviness to this white. It will sort of break up the transition of it, maybe. Oh, that's not where I want that heat tool to go. I'm going to have an avalanche in a minute. What's new? My desk is just got so much on it. Okay, so my daughter sells these beautiful napkins. We have about 800 designs every time we go out. Mum, we don't have that napkin. We have 800, Alexis. How many do we need? So napkins come in a pack of 2 when we sell them on the website. So you don't need to buy a whole pack of 20, which is good. But you do need to remove, there's a white backing or sometimes 2 white backings on the napkin. And you just sort of tease it at the edge and you can pull it apart. So this one I can tell has got 1 white backing and 1 printed layer. So we want to take the white backing off. Sometimes you get a bit of a bonus napkin. I don't know whether you'll be able to see it on the camera, but this has got a very faint line of the design. I don't even know whether it would show up if you glued it. I might have to try that one day. So if you don't know if your napkin's down to 1 layer, grab something with text on it, lay your napkin over, and you should be able to almost see your text through it. It's very small text to read, but I can see that through there. So napkins are so much fun to play with. They're quite affordable. They start at 75 cents for a pack of 2 and then go up in price depending on what the design is. Just waiting to decide what I'm going to do. I think I want to do some... Do I want to have all my lines going that way, or do I want to do them that way? That way's going to look a bit funny. Let's go all horizontal. So there's two ways to cut a napkin, obviously with scissors, or you can get a wet paintbrush and tear along it if you're wanting a specific piece, but this one I don't really, not really cutting out a specific piece, and I want it to sort of be not straight. So I'm just going to tear it without the water. If it was a specific design and I wanted to be a bit more exact, I would probably tear it. Now with these napkins, when we stick them down, the white part of the napkin's almost going to disappear and you're just going to see the black text. So what I'm going to do is make sure I overlap it and overlap on the paper. And some of this black text will disappear, but it will look like it's flawlessly into the design. Clear as mud, right? Yep. So to stick down the napkins, because they're a thinner paper, I don't like using the gel medium because it's a bit thicker, and mine's nearly old, so it's a bit thicker anyway. So this one, the matte medium, is more liquidy. You can hear it's more swooshy in the bottle. Swooshy. Words today. So the thinner you glue, the better it is for thinner things like napkins and collage papers and tissue papers and stuff like that. So we're going to glue it the same way we glued our paper down. We're going to put some adhesive underneath, if we can get the lid off. You can tell when you haven't arted for a while, all your adhesives and stuff have got, their lids are stuck on. So I just drip it on my book. Saves me getting a paint palette and washing something else. So a good generous layer where you're wanting your napkin to go. And you can see this is a lot runnier, hopefully. You've got to be a bit more gentle with the napkins, because you don't want to do that. You want to place them down and basically not move them. So I've placed it in the wetness, and I want to take some more matte medium, and I want to start from the center and sort of go over the top of the napkin. So this is going to seal the napkin in and help that whiteness disappear into your page, and it will also again seal it. So if you have a whoopsie and put paint or ink where you don't want it, it will be able to be wiped off. So there we go. So you can see how it's bright white under the white gesso, but it's sort of gone a cloudy colour. Sometimes it completely disappears, the whiteness of the napkin. Sometimes you can see a bit of a halo of white. Just depends on what surface you are sticking it on. Let's stick some down the bottom. So I'm just going to tear another piece. Sort of guiding it with my fingers of where I want to tear. Sometimes napkins will tear in one direction more than others. Just depends on the day and if the napkin's going to behave or not sometimes. Just deciding where to stick it. I think I want to stick it sort of, I don't know. Let's tear that down a bit. Maybe we'll stick 2 little bits of strips on. So I don't want to stick some in here. So let's do that. Let's not overthink this, Melinda. Let's just have an idea and stick it down. I'm the biggest procrastinator in the world. So let's just stick it down. When you're going over the top, you sort of only want to go over the top in one spot once. You don't want to go over and over and over in the same spot, because you will tear your napkin. I had another bit of napkin there, didn't I? So once the napkins get wet, they are quite fragile. And we'll put that up there. Why not? The napkins are probably the hardest or the more flimsiest out of tissue papers, collage papers. A lot of companies make collage papers, or rice papers they're also called. Anything that's thin. Napkins are probably the hardest to glue down and get used to gluing down, but they're also the most affordable, so it's a bit of a toss-up. They're just more fragile, but there's loads of different types of napkins around that you can use on your artwork. Let's glue. Oops, it's probably a bit too much glue. And I want to put a little bit down here. So the little bit that's left, let's throw some of this down here. Why? Because I just want to. I don't like little bits left. So I like to use little bits up in my journal. Because otherwise they go in my box and never get used. Oh, we've got a few people watching now. I can see the count. I couldn't see that before. Facebook keep changing things on me. Speaking of Facebook changes. So live videos like the one I'm doing at the moment are only going to be available on Facebook for 30 days. As from, I think, a week ago. So Facebook have changed their rules. So what I will done and what I've done to all my lives on Facebook is I download them and upload them to YouTube. So I will put... after I've done that, I'll put the post back up so it's in the feed. So if you do want to go back and, say, follow along with this class again, say in a month's time or 2 months' time, and can't find the video on Facebook, it will be up on the YouTube channel and linked back to Facebook. It's very annoying. I've had to sit down here and download loads and loads of old videos and make sure I've got them all backed up on YouTube. Going to give this a quick dry. See, when I'm drying, I'm moving the heat tool around a lot. You don't want to sit in the one spot. Let's throw that back in the cubby hole. Because the glue can get too wet. The glue can get too hot, and then it can bubble up. This cord is driving me nuts. Good old stick your hand on your page to see if it's dry test. Oh, thanks, Heather. Hi, Heather, if I didn't say hello to you before. Thanks for the lovely comment. Yeah, I'm loving the patterns that together as well. I'm going to do some stenciling as well. So let's grab my stencil of my face out and sort of see where that's going to be positioned. Might go all horribly wrong in a minute. So I'm sort of wanting to, where her eye ends, I want to have her eye on that side of the page, the right side. But this hair piece, I suppose, fluff above her eye of hair, I want to bring over to the left-hand side of the page so the pages are connected. And then this swirly bit, I don't know, past her neck, will also come over to the page. So it's sort of connecting both pages. Okay. So... she's going to go about there. And I want to sort of do that last because I'm going to do that in black, I think. And then I'm going to do some pen work on it to make it pop a bit better. But we want to fill in some of this gap. So let's grab this stencil. And then my saying, I think, is going to go sort of like here, somewhere. Oops. Okay, so I grabbed this stencil because I hadn't played with it yet and it looks really cool. So you've got a lot of this lininess and then you've got some of this that's got less lines and more bulk to it. So it's got a few different possibilities. Now, what am I going to do? What medium am I going to use? I think I'm going to bring in some ink because I sort of want to, again, this is very dark, this is dark, and I want to do some like lighter grey in the background. I was going to put a light layer of gesso over the papers just to knock them back a bit, but I don't think they're too dark. I can always do that at the end if I think they're too bright, but let's just keep going and see what other mess I can create. Our journal pages keep growing and keep evolving, and you think you're going to do something and then Actually, I could do this on... Oh, I've just had a thought. Instead of doing it square on... Sorry, our journal pages keep evolving as you go and keep growing. So if you have a preconceived idea in it, you go off on a tangent and it ends up being totally different. That's okay too. That's usually how my pages turn out. Or sometimes I just pick a few products and then just, well, whatever happens, whatever happens. Hopefully it's not a disaster when I'm doing it live. Just had a thought, actually. This is like a square diamondy shape. Square diamondy shape. It is a square, but it's diamond, so it's on an angle. So if I turn my stencil, I can replicate that design. Or do I go square on? No, I think I'm going to go on the edge. Okay. So I'm going to use a blending tool and I'm going to use some archival ink. So this is a black archival ink, but when I use it through the blending tool, it gives like a grey tone. So I've got like really dark here. I've got dark here. I want to soften it and do like not so dark. Oh, words really today. Seriously, it's Sunday. So just scratch my blending tool into my ink pad and then I'm going to go and do some stuff. Okay, so face is going to go sort of like here. So we want to concentrate over here and over there. So let's commit. Archival ink is also permanent. So you could use like a black Tim Holtz ink pad. But the reason I like permanent is because I don't know what's coming next. I could put something water reactive over the top of this ink, and if it's not archival, it would be a disaster. That's the word I'm thinking of. So I'm sort of going darker on the edge of my page and then like lightening it as it comes in. Hopefully. Pick it up so you can see it in a minute. So you're just going around and around in circles. I love these blending tools with the stencils and with inks because you get a really soft, really detailed look. So a lot of companies sell these blending tools. And they get, because they're all little hairs, they get into really intricate designs. I'm just going to hold my finger there and see if I want... Ooh, I like that. That's really cool. Okay, but I want to extend it a bit here. And I don't think I've got any ink in my brush. Oh, I do have. It's amazing how much ink these brushes hold when you think there's none left. Ooh, that's pretty. Glad I went with the diamondy look. Hang on, I'm just going to move my book over a slight bit. I'm just trying to move my mouse so it's not sitting over anything important. I've got a paintbrush in the way. I've got a phone in the way. I really need a new solution to my desk. I have a very small area to craft in because I have a large computer, large monitor, large keyboard and a mouse because I need those to work on my computer. But it makes it very interesting to then have a workspace. So, so I'm in the market for a new desk setup. I don't know how it's going to work. And I've got an octopus of cords that I need to tame and get rid of because it's just out of control behind my desk. So again, going right dark on the edge and sort of feathering it as I come into the page. I'm also overlapping, I forgot to say this side, I'm overlapping onto the napkin and even onto the pattern paper if we're near the pattern paper. Overlapping it connects it all. You don't really want to just go and do a blob in the middle. So all my elements are sort of feeding off each other. So they're sort of growing and extending from each other. A lot of art journal pages I look at I see things floating in the middle of the page, or people will take, say, this stencil and just do a big blob here in the middle. And I don't know, for some reason my head does not do well with floating objects. Now I've taken that stencil off, I can't put it back, which was really intelligent. But that's okay. And they say the rule of thirds, so we're going to have to do it a third place. So yeah, I don't technically like floating things. I'm going to just do a little bit down here, which will probably cover it up. Where's the actual person stencil? Are we going to see any of it? She's going to go sort of there. Where are we going to see it more? We're not going to see it down there. We're not going to see it there. Maybe we do a bit over here. We'll do our third spot over there. So yeah, when I do art journal pages, it sort of all grows from, grows out from each other or touches and overlaps each other. I don't know, words are not fun today. I was doing a lot of boring paperwork as well this morning, so that does not help my brain. I hate doing paperwork and hate doing repetitive stuff. But some lovely person, not naming any names, me, may have not sort of saved her laser design files correctly for the last maybe 15 years and now is in a big, huge mess. Now that our website is taken off and we're doing a lot more orders and our stock boxes are running out, we have to find older designs, which is proving to be interesting. So it's my mission this year to get all of that done, but it's mind-numbingly boring. So it's nice to have a bit more creativeness in my day than sitting at the computer. It's like a walk down memory lane. It's like, ooh, when did I design that shape? Okay. So, do I go and do that bit now? Or do I go and do something else? I'm wondering, when I have thoughts it's a bit dangerous. I wonder if I want to take the same stencil, some white, sort of calm her papers down a bit. What's the worst could happen? I could stuff it up. Okay, that's gel medium. What am I looking for? I'm looking for gesso. I've got a little cubby hole behind me that I've got all my frequently used adhesives and things, except I've got 100 cords in front of it. Okay, so we're going to grab some white gesso. I need a sponge. That's over here. Oops. I like to stencil with makeup sponges, so I've got a bag of bits. Let's get one that's not too small. They're all looking rather sad. What I do is I don't tend to wash these makeup sponges. This is a bit crusty from last time I used it. I take my scissors and just snip the crusty bit off, the dried paint off. And then I use the sponge until there's basically nothing left. You can wash them, but that involves walking over to my sink and doing stuff like that. Okay, now I want to get some paint. Have I got a spatula in my... So we've got lovely white gesso here. Yeah, it's in a Vegemite jar, I know. I bought a huge litre bottle of it and I thought, no way am I having that on my desk. So I decanted some into... I can just take it out of the lid actually. Put some in the Vegemite jars. So what I think I'm going to do is I want to concentrate on the really, really, really little squares, which is why I chose this stencil. I had big squares and little squares. So where's the most little squares? Probably up here. So when you're stenciling through a stencil, when you're stenciling with a makeup sponge, you don't want to dip straight in your paint and then have a big blob on top of your sponge, because that's going to allow the paint to leak under your stencil and you're going to get a blobby look. So dip into your paint and then on a palette on something, scrap paper off to the side here, I'm just going to dab, dab, dab. Work that paint into the sponge and it's going to almost look like there's no paint there, but trust me, there is paint in there. I don't know what this is going to look like. So the advantage of putting that matte gel medium over my paper, if I totally stuff this up and don't like it, I can be really quick with a baby wipe and wipe 99% of it off. So I just want to sort of bring this square up into here a bit, maybe. This sounds all right in my head. This gesso is also very translucent, so it's not a very white. It's not a very white. Oh, God. So it's not going to be stark white. It's going to be just tone that black down a little. You could have done this with a white ink pad. I'm on the search for a very good white ink pad that I can do stuff like this with. See how that's just... You can still see the pattern, but it's not as bold as it was before. So every time you go to refresh your sponge or grab some more paint, do dab it off onto the side. And I want to do a little bit down here. So I just wanted to soften that black because it was just standing out way too much for my liking. So I'm not covering the entire lot of the paper, I'm just picking a few little bits that are just the darkest bits to put a bit of paint on. And it sort of adds another depth and another layer as well. As I said, we are working in black and white today because that sounded less difficult than going finding all my coloured paints, which are somewhere. Okay, let's put the lid on that before that ends up in a disaster. Okay. I think I'm liking that. Are we going to be... Is it 3 o'clock already? I might be doing this an hour already. Where does time fly when you're art journaling? Jeez Louise. Where did that time hour go? Probably about 10 minutes of me stuffing around and restarting the live, but that's beside the point. Okay. Am I brave to do... Am I brave enough to now do my stenciling? Yes, I'm going to be brave. It's also going to be a bit difficult because I'm over the crease of my book, but I did pick a page where almost in the middle of my book, so it's flat. And I do have a bit of masking tape down the middle. You might see this line here to put down the gutter of my book before I gessoed. And you see a little bit of the line, but it doesn't bother me. Okay, so we need to stencil with something. So we're going to stencil with... I'm going to do gesso and I'm going to do Dina Wakley black paint. I think I'm going to go with Dina Wakley black paint because it's a heavy body paint, so it's less liquidy. I hope no school teachers are on today. My grammar is appalling. So it's less liquidy, so it has less chance of going under your stencil and you'll get a better stenciled look. Does that make sense? Clear as mud, right? You know what the advantage of replaying these videos are on YouTube? You can mute me and just watch. Which would probably be good at some stages. No. Okay. So I'm going to just make sure that white bit's dry because I don't want to make grey when I stick some black in here. Oops. That's a lot of paint. Didn't really want that much paint. Okay, now. Where do I want this positioned? What you can actually do is, I don't know whether you'll be able to see it. No, you probably won't. Okay. What you can do is when you have a stencil and a mask is you can actually use the mask to position it on your page to see where it is. But you're going to be seeing white over white, so you're probably going to see that less than you're seeing the stencil. So I've sort of got the corner of her eye just on this side, just near the gutter. So this bit here will come over this side of the page. So the two pages are connected. And I want to sort of keep behind her face white. So I'm just going to drop that down a bit. So she's got a bit of white behind her eye. So I'm going to stencil with black. So I don't know what I want. Oh, sometimes it's hard to talk and do stuff. Okay. So because this stencil's so gappy and so sort of, there's a big hole missing from it, I'm going to hold it quite close to where I'm stenciling and keep moving my fingers around. And that doesn't help that my book is very bumpy, my art journal, and it's not quite flat. So again, I'm going into my paint and working that paint into the sponge. And then, are we going to do it? We're going to do it? Okay, we're going to do her eye first. So we're doing it. Oh, thanks, car. Someone's tooting their car horn in my street. We're doing an up and down motion, and that's better than sort of swishing side to side, so you'll get a better stencil look. Whoops, I need more than 5 fingers. You'll get better stenciling than if you're sort of squishing it around. Oh, did that move? Really? No, don't move. Okay. So we're just going to slowly go around. I can always fix up some whoopsies with paint pen, so I'm not real worried. I'm just holding it quite close to where I'm stenciling because this is quite a gappy sort of stencil. I've been eyeing off this stencil for a while and wanting to play with it, but I didn't achieve much journaling last year. All I did seem to do was classes, and I've done classes this year. I love teaching classes and I love designing classes, but it's also fun just to play and use some other stuff, because designing classes is a different headspace than just playing. Get the nose and the mouth. So as you can see, I'm moving my fingers up quite close to where I am stenciling. It's going to be fun to do it over the crease of the book, but as I said, we're going to clean it up with some paint pens in a minute if we need to. Now, cleaning the stencil. You can clean your stencil. This is acrylic paint, so if I don't clean my stencil, it doesn't matter. It won't harm the stencil, as long as there's not big blobs of it, as long as it's just a thin layer. Sometimes there's an advantage of having paint on your stencil, because you can see it a bit more. Oh, big reveal. Just seeing if I've got everything. Yeah, see, that's needs to go a bit darker. So I'm holding the stencil in one corner and sort of flipping it up so it's staying in the one spot. Yeah, I'm going to have to fix that up. I have to fix the eye up too. Okay, let's take it off. Okay. I stuffed up the eye, but I can fix that up. And I'm going to fix the lines up with a bit of paint pen anyway. I'm just going to give this a bit of a dry. Okay, that eye I'll fix up in a minute. Okay, now what I wanted to do was take this bit of the flourish and sort of maybe, I don't know, and extend it a bit more somehow. I don't know. Let's see if this will work. I don't know if that's going to work. That's what I had in my head anyway. I'm going to have to outline. I'm going to outline the face anyway, because this is getting lost up here and it's not so bad down here, but this is, yeah, I'll fix that in a minute. I sort of want to use either this swirl or this part to sort of extend it a bit over here, but I'm just wondering how I do that, or whether I just do it with a paintbrush or I do it with a pen. Let me see. I sort of want to extend this bit over here a bit. Why? I don't know, but I think it needs to go over here to connect both pages together. So I want to, I don't really want to make it bigger as such. I want it to sort of look like it's seamlessly coming from... No, not that bit. It's going to have to be this big stencil. I sort of want to go... I don't know what I'm going to do. I know what I want to do. Thanks, Angie. I know in my head I'm just going to do it with a paint pen. Let's just do it with a paint pen. Because I don't want to thicken up this line. I sort of want to trail it off over here. So let's do... Yep, I think we're going to do that bit with a paint pen. Okay, let's put that stencil somewhere where it will not put black paint on something. I will clean that. Oh, that's probably not a good spot to put it, but I'll clean that up later. Okay, let's put this bit of black paint back in I've got a baby wipe. I had a packet of baby wipes. Oh, seriously, when I start moving stuff in my desk, I'd love a desk where everything has its place. I pick it up, I use it, and then it has a place to go back. At the moment, I don't have that. Just going to throw this paint back in the tube. That's why I like these Dina Wakley ones and the Delusions ones. You can take the head off the paint and throw paint back in it. If you squeeze out too much, you can't do that with a tube. Oh. Now I'm trying to get its head back on. There we go. Oh. Okay, where did its lid go? There we go. Okay, let's get out my black paint pens. I really like this stencil. It has a really dramatic look of... Oh, it looks like it needs to be glued. Does anything else need to be cut off for now? No. Just tear the excess napkin off. Okay, paint pen time. So, let's do it with a thin paint pen first. I'll get my poster paint pen out. And I apologise if my head gets in the way. That's going to need a bigger paint pen, but I'm going to sketch out what we're going to do, because I think I want to extend this. Come on, paint pen. You're working the other night. I need a thicker paint pen. Do I have a thicker black one? That is the question. I have a really thick one, or that one. That one's probably thicker. Not that one. Sorry, just diving off into a... Are they the same size? 1M bag of my spare paint pens. Let's open up a new paint pen because I don't have this size opened. I've been doing a lot of doodling and work with paint pens, and I keep throwing them out and never replace them into my little pouch. Come on. Plastic off. So this is a pouch of all my open paint pens and all my pens that I use all the time. And then when I have emptied one, I will go grab another one from my stash. So this one's got a bit more of a thicker tip. So I'm just going to activate this. So it does say on the pen to pump it up and down, but I don't like to do that. So all I do is press it down and count to about 5 until you can see the paint coming out of the paint pen. And if you press it down and count to 5 and it's still not flowing, just press it down and count to 5 again. Don't pump it up and down, up and down, up and down, because it'll break the pen. That was a bit rude. My computer just went on screensaver mode. Now I'm going to put my mouse somewhere. Hang on. So apparently I have... Oh. My new mouse is going to end up covered in paint like my last one. No wonder it probably broke. I've got to get... let's put that... I'll need that in a minute. Let's put that up there. Okay, here we go. So that's the sort of... That cap doesn't stay on there. So I'm just cleaning up the edges of my stenciling with my paint pen. I do apologise if my big head is coming into frame. For anyone that doesn't know me or anyone that's new to me and my business, I do have low vision. I can't even drive a car. Vic roads are very mean to me and won't let me drive a car. So sometimes when I'm doing closeness stuff, I have to be quite close to what I'm doing because I can't see. Especially when I'm doing pen work. You won't see me do a lot of pen work on the lives because I just struggle to keep my head out of shot. So I'm just cleaning up any bits of the stenciling that I feel needs cleaning up with a paint pen, and you won't see it because the paint pen and the paint will be the same colour when they're dry. Let me just dry that bit off. So if you haven't used Posca paint pens before, or there's loads of other brands out there, they are actually paint that comes out, so you've got to watch you don't smudge them. So I'm going to turn this book upside down and see how I can fix this bit up here that's bugging me, this eye. Okay, so I need my white paint pens. It's got a little pouch for my white paint pens. Let's grab my white ones out. So I prefer Posca paint pens, but gee, they are pricey. So I do try other paint pens. Kmart have got some really cool ones in different sizes and colours. I just go through that many of them. And I like to try, if I can find a more affordable product, why use an expensive product? Now, ideally, if I wasn't on live, I'd probably leave this half an hour, a few hours for the paint to totally 100%, 1000% dry. No, I don't, because I'm damn impatient. Ideally, you would leave your paint, because this is how you can wreck your paint pens. Ooh, that bit of paper's up, and I don't like it. I wonder if I can, get my knife and cut that off. Squirrel moment, sorry. Now my drawer won't shut. Hang on a minute. This bit up here is bugging me, this little bit of paper, and I've just realised it is not stuck down properly, which I possibly did on purpose. Let's say we did that. So I just want to, without making a big blooming mess, just really lightly pressing with my, oh, look at that. She's just had some eye surgery. She's had some cosmetic surgery. That's a lot better. I like that. I was going to either paint over that bit in white or clean it up a bit so it's just a bit more crisp. Glasses off, you know, I'm getting serious with the paint pens when the glasses come off. I just want to go in here with white. Okay, and I want to fix up her eye. So, what do I want to do? So the advantage of the paint pens is because they're acrylic paint, they will layer up over acrylic paint, and they'll layer up and basically go over the top of anything. You may have to do a couple of layers to get the opacity that you want. I'm just trying to fix that eye, and I am doing it upside down, so yeah, good luck with that, Melinda. Apologise if you see my grey hairs in my head. I did brush my hair today before I come on live because I thought you might be seeing my head. I'm just trying to clean up the eye. I buggered it up a bit with the stenciling, but oh well. It's never a mistake in art journaling. And I just want to go over a bit of that stenciling that's caught behind the eye, because I want it to be quite white behind there. So if you find the paint pen, sometimes the white is not opaque as I'd like. Sometimes I'll go over and do a second layer once it's dry, and you can sort of build up the layers. The great thing about the Posca ones is that they have several different, I think there's 7 different tip sizes you can get in white. So this one's obviously a really small one. Great for small work. This one's a bit bigger in its tip size. So the first one is a PC1MR. The second one I showed you was a 3M, PC3M, and this one big chunky one is a 5M. So basically, using the different sizes, if I'm going to do a large area, I go a larger pen. If I'm going to do a small area, a bit of detail, I go a smaller pen. So that's sort of, you wouldn't colour a huge area in with a small pen because that defeats the purpose. Let's turn, actually while I'm up here, this is getting a bit lost up here. So what I want to do is put a bit of white on the black paint from the stencil, just inside the stencil. So, and my head will come into view, I apologise because I've got to see what I'm doing. So up here, so I'm coming just inside the black stenciled paint by like a millimetre or so. And again, better if this dries. And I'm sorry if you're getting a big shot of my hair. Let me do it, and then... So that's going to break up and give that a bit more definition. And again, leaving your page to dry quite a lot. Let's turn that upside down now. I will often turn my book around upside down, sideways, to Ooh, see how that's just made that pop? See how this is popping a whole lot more? I could do it down here, which I might, she needs a catch-all in her eye. She needs that little white blobby thing in her eye. Is that called the catch-all? Where are we going to put that? I always struggle to do that because I make them look cross-eyed. Does it go in the middle? No, just go off to the side here. Go off to the side here. Come on, pen. The paint might not be... Like, the paint is touch dry, but sometimes... Ooh. A dot and then a swishy line. See if I can match this one. Not make it look cross-eyed. Oh, I don't like that one. I want to smudge it. Here, let me dry it off. Now I'll put a black dog because that's a bit... So the paint pens don't take long to dry if you've not used them before. They are fantastic for art journaling. This sort of final detail bits really makes your page go from, wow, that's really cool, to wow, that's really awesome. So these finer details of outlining is the last thing you do on your book, and it just brings it up and makes it pop. I've done the white outlining on that bit. Probably wouldn't outline the rest of this eye because A, it's too small and fiddly, but I might, to balance it, do sort of an outline. It doesn't need it, but I think it looks odd without it. But I think I might just do it on the outside. Let's do that. So because these paint pens are paint, obviously if you put paint down and you go, ugh, what was I thinking, that didn't really need it there. Because it's going over dried paint, you can quickly, with your baby wipe it away. Apologise for my head. Just bear with me a minute. Oops. So this is the finest of the paint pens. It's probably the one I use the most. It's the one I kill the most because it's the one that clogs up very easily with paint if you don't let your paint dry, or matte medium dry. So sometimes I will do the line work a day later, sometimes I won't, sometimes I'm very, very impatient. Sometimes I'll sit there and do a lot of line work or doodling. If you've seen, I went to smudge it with my finger, I don't want to smudge it with my finger. Sometimes I'll sit there and do a lot of line work. Doing this sort of thing calms my brain down. There we go. Let me put my glasses back on and see how that looks. I think I like it just on one side. I don't think it needs it. I think it'll be too much. Definitely need it all over there because that needed to pop out from the background. But down here, it's popping enough from the background. Now, what else? Let's have a play with our title. Stick that where it might be going. And then decide if the page needs anything else. I'm really happy with how this has come out, actually. I've surprised myself. An hour ago, I didn't know what the hell I was going to do. Okay, it's obviously white on white, but... So let's get my journal out of here for a minute. And we'll paint up this piece. So this is a white chipboard... wrong one. A white embellishment I sell on the site. So it's made out of I think it's 350 GSM cardstock. So it's mixed media cardstock. So it's good to paint and colour. We also sell, and I don't have it in here, we also have this in black. So the black ones are made out of a thinner card. So basically you stick them on and you don't do a lot with them because they don't take mixed media very well. But just wondering if I do black paint or black gesso, I'll do black paint. What was I say? So yeah, the black ones are basically stick on. If you see a shape on my website and you go, oh, that would be really cool for my art journal, but it says the word chipboard on it. So chipboard is like 1.8mm cardboard, so it's quite thicker. And this one's quite thin. So I don't tend to use a lot of chipboard in my art journal because it gets quite bulky. But if you see a shape on the website and go, oh, that'll make a cool thing in my art journal, and it says chipboard, just email me and go, can I have that out of the white cardstock or black cardstock. So basically once we've got the design, we can cut it out of almost anything then. My daughter did find a way to list different materials. When we have like this shape on the website, we could list, you could tick you want chipboard, you could tick you want white or black. But that means I've got to go change everything on my website, and that just sounded like too much work. So we do special orders like that as well. Or if you see a stencil that you go, oh, that'd make a cool piece of texture for my art journal and I want it made out of white paper or black paper, let us know as well. I can do just about anything on a good day. If my computer behaves, it's already broken this year and we had to get it fixed. My hard drive failed. Yay, that was an expensive fix. And then I make and manufacture all these pieces if you're new to my business. So I have machinery that I have access to that makes all those pieces, cuts them all out for me. So that gives me the advantage of being able to customize things. And also if you go, oh, I like this saying, but it's too small. Or I like that thing, but it's too big. Email me and give me the dimensions that you'd like it. And most of the time, going small sometimes doesn't work because the design's just too intricate and, well, it just falls apart. Going big is always easy. Or if you want something totally different, let us know. And I can make just about anything on a good day. When my equipment and computers and that are all playing nice. So I've just sponged some of the Dina Wakley black paint over the top of that. Oh, I did a really good job of that, didn't I? I missed a bit down here. And I missed a bit down there. So I could have grabbed a black one out of stock, but I grabbed the white one because I thought maybe I was doing a bit of M's wrong. I can see the bit of the M's not done correctly either. But I grabbed the white one because I thought, originally I was going to do a colourful page, but then I decided to do a black and white page. So at least with white you can change your mind and have lots of different colours. Ow, that's getting a bit hot. Is that all dry? It's dry and hot. Put my journal back. I've got this brown paper sitting on top of my glass mat because my glass mat will shine back in the camera. Let's put my art journal page back in. I'm liking this. Okay. So what we can do with words like this is if you want them not as a squarey thing, if you want to scatter them a bit more on your page, you can just carefully snip between the letters, and then I can have one day and then at a time in a slightly different spot. I think I want it to sort of, do I want it just hanging out in the middle or do I want it to sort of touch here? I think I want it to sort of touch there. Oh no, the light's just playing havoc. I thought I hadn't painted it properly. Okay, so it's going to go approximately there. What else does the page need, or does it need anything? I'm wondering if it needs a little bit of a black border just to tie in. I'm a bit of a border person lately. I like to border things, so I'm wondering, because at the moment it just looks like, I don't know, my head's saying it needs a border. Whether my head is correct is another opinion. Let's stick this down. So to glue these down, you just need a good quality craft glue. Trying to use up really old stuff, as I've said a couple of times. So this prick gel I found in my stash, and we all know if you leave things too long in your stash, they dry out. So it's a good idea to go through. Good idea to art journal every day. Let's say that. No, it's a good idea to churn through all your glues and gessos and anything that's a liquid, because they can dry out, and you don't want to waste your good money when something dries out. I love this. This is really cool glue, but the company does no longer exist, unfortunately. So I have to find a new glue that I like. So I think that company's existed for about 10 years. I found it in my stash, sealed in its original packaging. I thought, oh, no way, that will be still good, and it was. So let's get it used up. Okay. Now, do I want a border? Knowing when to stop. I like the border. They tie everything in as well. Hi Lynn, how you going? Yes, I like borders too, and my head likes borders. If you ever lived in my head, it would be a strange place to live. It has some really interesting ideas, um, and sometimes some really dumb ideas. I do want a border. I'm thinking just a thin black border with a pen, because if I did it with paint, I will cover up too much of this stuff. Right, thin black pen. So I have some. Oh, what's on the other side? No, it shouldn't go through. No, it shouldn't go through that. Sometimes when I do thin black borders, I have, this one will probably work. I have some cheap permanent markers that have like a chisel tip. I sometimes do use alcohol markers too, but I've killed my alcohol marker and I don't have. Let's just dry that paint or wipe that paint up, because I know my arm's just about to go in it. Because I was designing classes yesterday and I had paint all the way up my arms, which is nothing new when I'm crafting. Okay, so I will be moving my book around 100 times when I do this, because when I'm bordering, I like my hand to sort of do the same action than sort of contort, I think that's the word, my hand around in an unusual position. Okay, so which way am I going to do it? I'm going to do it this way. I need a bigger desk. Okay, so ideally with the chisel tip pen, I should be able to line it up. Maybe lining up stuff is fun, and just do a thin-ish. Okay, note to self, cut the paper off that's hanging off the side of your page first, and then you sort of know where you're going to see the other page. That's right, this is a class that's already been. This was a class that I taught at a hillbilly scrapping retreat. Oh, speaking of hillbilly scrapping retreats, I'm teaching at those again this year. We've got one coming up in April, and we've got one coming up in July, and there's another one at the end of the year, but I can't remember when it is. They are loads of fun, hillbilly scrapping retreats. You get so many classes in a short period of time. You get to stay home. It's like a retreat, or it is a retreat. You get to stay in your craft room, stay in your pyjamas if you want to, and do lots of classes. This year I'm determined to do some of the other instructors' classes and not have distractions like children, or teenagers, and not have distractions like work. Maybe I'll take the weekend off work and sorry. Really, shove that behind there. My screensaver's disactivated again. I must go, before I do another live, change my screensaver to not shut down whenever it shuts down. Must be nearly half an hour or something. Okay. So see how I've moved my book, and my arm is always going in the one direction, so it's going down, and I'm not trying to do sort of this or that. So your arm naturally likes to go in this sort of downward motion. Oh, I'm liking that border. Okay. So I will move my book around 100 times. Is that? And putting a little border on it like this will hide any little of bits near your page that you didn't quite get paint on or didn't quite get stenciling on. Sorry if my book is upside down and you don't like that. Am I the only one that turns my book up 100 times when I'm crafting? That's actually a rite of passage with art journaling, if you have at least one page in your art journal fully upside down, because you turn it around to do something and then you forget which way's up. I often do that. So these are just cheap. I don't even know where this one came from. Art Spectrum. This one might have come from Ryan Art and Craft quite a few years ago. But you can get like these chisel tip permanent markers from like $2 shops. Well, they're not $2 shops anymore. Like your discount variety shops. That you can just do flat borders with. And I'm just struggling seeing white on white paper. So now I've done it around. Oh, I just like how that's finished. Get my scissors out of the way. I've got stuff everywhere. You've done that, Sharon, so I'm not the only one that does pages in my book upside down. I'm hopeless like that as well. Okay. I'm just going to take these bits of paper out. These were just protecting the other pages from getting goop all over them. And let's see if it needs anything else. It needs to get that bit of crud off it. I'm just going to stand it up like this because I do like to look at my pages standing up as well. And that bit of tape's bugging me, but I can't do anything about it. That's the masking tape that holds my journal together, but it's just part of the process. Otherwise, there's a big gap between my journal and then all my paint and stuff seep down and wreck the binding of my journal. And this one is not a good journal. I wouldn't recommend it. It looks like a Delusions brand, but it is not. So I wouldn't recommend this brand. I thought I'll try it, but yeah, no. But I'll use it up because I have it. I'm thinking, does it need anything else? Or am I stopping and walking away and going, it's done? I think it's done. What do you think? Knowing when you're done is very hard, and I say in my classes, I can't teach you that because I still haven't learnt that. I go, oh, one more thing sounds good in my brain, sounds good in my head, but in reality, it wasn't a good idea. So knowing when to walk away and stop. I really like the white on that side because it balances all this white out. And I like how we've got like darks here. This is like a middle tone, and then this is quite soft. So even though we've got black and white, we've got lots of tones of black and white. Oh, thank you, Sharon. It's a bit different than I envisaged in my head before I started, but I'm really loving it, actually. It's very different. All my art journal pages lately are very, very different. I've just noticed there's a little bit here that I'm going to just touch up with a paint pen because just noticed a little bit here that I just want to touch up because it's not as smooth as line as I would like it to be. And then I think I'm going to call it done. I think I'm going to call it done and walk away before I have a brilliant idea that's not a brilliant idea and wreck the whole darn thing. I've done that before. Totally done that before. But, oh, just one more thing. Thanks, Linda. Yeah, I'm really happy how this has turned out. Sometimes I start and I was working on a page yesterday and it's not going how I planned and it's not going to be the class. So I've got to rethink the idea, but it'll still have to be an okay page, but it's just not what I was envisaging. But I really like how this has come together. So what I'll do is I will thank everyone for taking some time out of their Sunday to come and watch me play. So this will be available on Facebook for 30 days, and then in the next couple of days I'll get it transferred to YouTube as well. But straight after this video I will go and take a photo of this so you can get a nice thanks Nikki, so you can get a nice close up photo of it. I'll put it up on the Scrapbookingcraft Facebook feed, and then in the comments I will link the stencil, the second stencil, the napkin, and Alexis's papers. Oh, and the One Day at a Time. So all those products are on the website. I was just double thinking. Yeah, they are. I deliberately did that. I wanted to play with some of the new stuff, but I can't because it's on the website. So I'll link all those products so you can find them easily if you like. And I'm hoping to do some more lives a bit more regularly. I can't set an exact date and a time because with my schedule. And as soon as I set something else just pops up and cancels my plans. I'm forever rescheduling stuff in my diary, and it's a domino effect. You move one thing, you move another. But I'll give you as much notice as I can if I can. If not, I'll just pop on and you can always watch the replay. Thank you very much for coming along. And if you do a page like this or something similar, I'd love to see. You can post in Hillbilly Shenanigans. It's a Facebook group that I've shared this video into, and it's owned by Hillbilly Scrapping, and we work together a lot. That's the one that runs the retreats, the virtual retreats. I run in-person ones. She runs virtual ones. So pop up, even if you use a different stencil, different products, if you go in your stash and find stuff that's similar, I still like to see, because then I get good ideas from you guys too. Or if you can buy the products and do the exact same page, that's cool too. That's how we all learn. Thank you very much all for watching, and have a lovely afternoon. I better go clean up now. I have a mess everywhere. Bye for now, and I'll hope to be back in March with one more live maybe. We'll see what life brings. I've got a craft show to get ready for at the end of March, so I'm a little busy, but I will find some time, hopefully. Bye for now.